Hi everyone, this is Ida of Creative to Create. I want to thank all of you for the great response for the Shabby Chic Queens 2019 YouTube hop. My first hop ever, and you guys have been amazing. I want to thank you all. I know I haven't commented back, and the reason for that is because I don't want my comment to get mixed up with when I do the random picker for the winner, to choose a winner. So I'm trying to keep that down to a minimum, so that's the only reason. But I do appreciate everybody's lovely comments. Thank you so much for being so kind. But I have had a number of requests for the ribbon holder, so I thought I would do a tutorial, and this is going to be a very slow paced tutorial. If you get tired of listening to me talk, or if I'm taking too long, you can speed it up, you can mute it, you can do whatever you want, but I'm going to take this really slow, that way everyone understands what I'm doing. So we're going to start off by cutting the sides on the ribbon, on the ribbon organizer. And I already have some stuff that's pre-done, and I could have easily gone that route, but I feel that sometimes when we try to talk through something and instead of showing you that, it's a little confusing. So I'm going to do my best and try and hurry as much as I can, but I'm going to start from the very beginning all the way to the end. Like I said, you can mute it, you can speed it up, do whatever you want, but this is going to be slow. The only thing you are going to need, you're going to need a heavy-duty paper trimmer because we're going to be cutting some chipboard. You're going to need the regular paper trimmer, whether it be a Fiskars, a Cricut, it doesn't matter. That's a very important cutter for this particular project. And then you're going to need the Graphic 45 die, the square tag and clock die from Graphic 45. This is the only die that I'm going to use for this project. And I'm hopefully I won't get cut off. So let's start, guys. You're going to need about 5 sheets of chipboard. And these I bought by a big box, but they were kind of pricey, but you can find them anywhere. And these are like a medium weight or a heavy weight chipboard. I think that a cereal box might be too thin to get it to score the way I want it on the regular trimmer, but you can always try it out. So I'm going to use about 5 sheets total for the whole organizer. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to take one of our chipboard pieces and we're going to cut it to a little bit under 4 1/4. You can see right there's a 4 1/4, but I'm right below that. So you can still see the mark where 4 1/4 is, because I want it to be a little shy of 4 1/4. So there's one piece, and you're gonna need 4 of these, and they are 11 inches long. So I'm going to move my cutter back, put in my second piece, and go ahead and cut that. And like I said, you can skip this, but this is more to make it easier to understand. So there it is. You're going to need 4 in total. I'm only going to cut 2 because I already have some of my stuff pre-done, but I'm going to show you the steps on how to put one together. So we cut 2 pieces that were a little shy of 4 1/4, and they're even a little bit over 4 1/8. So I'm going to say the little notch that's right before the little notch that's right before the 4, well, I guess it's 4 3/8. That's where you're going to cut it. A little shy of 4 1/4. So I'm going to remove this because I don't need this anymore. And forgive me if I have to clear my throat. My allergies are acting up again. Now, here's where the die comes in. So we're going to take our die, and you can use any tag die that's wide, but I have not found another tag die that's this wide and is square at the bottom. And I'm only going to cut one because I do have one pre-cut, but I want to show you how to cut it, run it through your machine and everything. The blade is side up right here. All I'm going to do is take my chipboard piece, run it underneath. You can see it's going between the die, and I'm going to butt it all the way up. And I'm going to flip it around so you can see how the rest of the die is underneath the tag, but the cutting piece where it has the curve and where the grommet goes, that blade is over. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to center this And I am, like I said, I butted it up right up to the edge. And all I'm going to do here is making sure that it's centered, that looks about right. And I'm going to grab a couple of pieces of washi, and I'm just going to tape it there so it doesn't move. And like I said, this is going to be a very slow-paced video, and if you want to speed it up, you can. But this is for those of you who need more of a visual. But you see how I taped it so it doesn't move, and there's the same enough space difference between here and here. The gap is about the same, so you want it as close as possible. And you're going to have to cut this 4 times. So I'm going to put my machine up here, and hopefully, I won't move you around too much. Now, let me see if I can lift you up some. The thing is that when I lift you up some, I don't know if you can see what, I can't see what I'm doing. So I'm going to get my die. Here's my die, and I'm going to put the blade facing up. So the blade, the straight line is facing up, and the part that has the grommet, the hole for the grommet, that's down because my blade is facing up, because this is my no cut plate. I don't cut on this plate. And then here's my one that I put on top, that this is the one I cut into. I know it's warped, I need another one. So I'm going to put this on top, and I hope I don't jiggle you around too much. And I'm going to, let me see, move back a little bit. And I'm going to run it through my machine. I'm sorry guys for the jiggling, but my clamp is on my table that I'm working on. So here, I just cranked it a little bit. As you notice, most of the tag is still sticking out because I don't have to run it all the way through, because I only want that top piece cut out. So I'm going to go back in reverse, and then I'm going to do it again. Then I'm going to come back again in reverse. I'm sorry guys. And I'm going to do it one more time. So that gives me, there. And you're going to have to do this 4 times. So I'm going to move my machine out of the way now, and I'm sorry, but my phone is clamped to my table. So when I take it out, see how you can see the line, but it didn't cut all the way through. That's okay, because this is what we're going to do. Now you're going to remove the washi tape from the back that you had holding your blade. And I usually just tape those to the top of my machine and reuse them as much as I can. When they don't have any more sticky on them, then I just discard them. And when I take this out, you're going to see that it didn't cut all the way through. You see the outline right there? And it didn't cut all the way through. That's okay though, because you can take a pair of scissors and just kind of bend this down a little bit and just follow that edge. That's all I do. I just kind of bend this down, and with my scissors I can follow that edge, and it'll give me a clean cut, because it cut through almost all the layers except the last one. So I can just go ahead and follow that edge, and I'll have a nice cut. I don't want to cut my tag. So there's my cut. So there's one already, and let me put my tag die away. I'm working on my kitchen table, and these kids leave sweets everywhere, and I'll see an ant here and there. Anyway, so this is one of the panels, and I do have another one already cut out. Let me see if I can find it. What did I do with it? Yes. So here, this makes 2. Now, to remove this in the back, I am going to take my scissors. And I'm just kind of, with my scissors, because I lost my X-Acto. I can see the outline of where it should have cut and it didn't cut. So I'm just going to take my scissors and kind of punch that out. I'm just going to kind of punch that out. And I don't want to rip the top right here, so I'm going to use the scissors right there, because I want that to be as sturdy as possible. So there it is. See, I removed that piece. I can still see another little piece that needs to be removed. So I'm going to go ahead and actually, let me do that. So there it is. There's the piece. And this one needs to be, I need to do the same thing on this one. And we're going to just take it one step at a time, guys. On this one, this video, all we're doing is building the sides of our box. And like I said, if you do have an X-Acto knife, then of course that's what I would use to give it. See how that's not very clean because I'm using my scissors. But you know, we improvise. We use what we have. And then I'm going to go in with the scissors and just kind of clean it up. Okay, that's done. So remember, we're going to need 4 of these panels all together because we're going to get the tag. I had already recorded part of this video and I didn't like the way it looked, so I redid it. So I'm redoing it step by step. I think it's best this way. So you need the tags. I picked these up at Tuesday morning, and these come with the ring as well, and that's the ring that I had on my box. And here's the tag. And all I did for the tag to get the outline, I just kind of put it here, centered it on my tag that I had cut out my side, and then I took a pencil. And just marked all the way around, just like this. I took my scissors, and I'm going to put it on this one because I feel like if I explain it, it's not as good as if I actually show you. And these lines don't have to be straight because you're not even going to see it. The only place you do want to be straight is this piece on top right here, because this will show. And then I'm going to go here and see how I'm just following the outline and cutting it all the way down. The only piece that I want is this top piece with the grommet, with the eyelet on there. So now all we're going to do is we're going to take this piece and we're going to put it back here and we're going to glue it in place. So hopefully my phone won't stop, because usually it'll record a few minutes and it stops. That's why I'm trying to make this as fast as possible, but not skipping any steps. So I'm going to just use the Beacon 3-in-1 glue, and I'm going to add it all the way around my tag. And like I said, if you already know what I'm doing and I explained it well enough for you, just fast forward. That's all you got to do. Don't get upset at me. Just fast forward or mute me or whatever you need to do. And we're going to stick it up here. See how it's not even straight there, because I just kind of cut it roughly. And let me grab my bone folder real quick. And I don't recommend using hot glue to adhere the paper, because when you use the wet glue, it kind of, when it hardens, it gives it more strength. Now see how I didn't cut perfect here? Now I can go in now and just follow the curve of my tag and clean that up some. That's all I have to do right here. Wherever it's showing and I don't want it to show, just take my scissors and cut it so it doesn't show. But look how nice and finished it looks right here where the grommet is. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to take, we're going to add glue to the back of this, and we're going to glue them together. And for this, I'm going to use this tacky glue by Aleene's. Come on. I usually keep them face down, but the lid on this one is not where you can stand it up. Come on. So after we get this one done, guys, I'm going to stop right here, because I don't want them to be too long, my videos to be too long, and this way you can see exactly what I'm doing, but in short videos. Okay, let's see. I don't think my glue wants to come out. It's being stubborn. There it goes. So all I'm going to do is add glue all the way around. Come on. Seriously? Especially around this ring. And if you keep like a damp paper towel or cloth, probably that would be ideal. That way you can wipe off any glue that's left on your hands, and that way you don't make a mess on your project. My glue's being really stubborn. So I'm going to call it quits right there just for the sake of this video. But just make sure it's nice and glued down. And I'm going to get the next tag. And see the nice finished edge? I'm going to put that facing down because I'm going to cover this anyway. I mean, you don't have to. Let's not. The thing is that I find that the tag conforms better when you put them both facing the same way. See how it tends to want to unstick there? Although I do like the finish look better. So here's my tag, and I'm just kind of using the table to make sure that I'm straight. Let's use the burnishing tool right here to adhere it down. Come on. Shift it a little bit. And that's all I'm doing. I'm going to burnish it down. But I do find that when I do it the other way, where the two pretty sides are facing in the same direction, that it does tend to conform to the other tag. And, you know, it glues better, adheres better. And anybody can do this at home. You don't need any power tools or anything like that, because I know sometimes that is a challenge. See the glue there? That's okay, because that's not going to show. You don't need any power tools, but this does take a little bit to glue down, so you really got to, unless you have a glue better than what I'm using, I do find, and if you have a brayer, that would probably even work better. But I do not recommend any hot glue, that's for sure. Now at this point, you could probably just set something heavy on them and leave them overnight if you wanted to, but for the sake of this video, I'm not going to. But I am trying to make sure that it's nice and glued down. And I'm not going to cover this in paper because I'm going to show you what I did after this, and I won't be able to unless it dries really quick. We'll see. Or maybe I'll show. Yeah, because I do want to cover it. So see, this makes it nice and sturdy and thick. But you do have to work with it to make sure that your glue is adhering really, really well. But look at how pretty it looks with the grommet up here, nice and finished. Now, I already have some glue in a plate here. And usually what I do when I'm working on stuff, especially painting, I just get a plate, a styrofoam plate, and that's where I add my paint. And I use the same one over and over again until it rips or it's way too dirty, and I can't. That's when I stop. But at this point, I would add just a drop of glue to my tray. Here's my brush, and this is that off-white color that I used. And I would just paint all these sides. Now, see, it still needs to be glued, so I really don't want to do that right now because I can see that it's not glued all the way down. So I'm not going to do that. But that's what I would do. I would take, well, you can see right here where I took it to some pieces that we're going to work with. So if you don't want any of your edges showing, make sure you cover them up with some paint. And let me keep trying to glue that down. Put my brush in water. I'm very particular about my brushes. I make sure that I rinse them out right away. That way I always have good brushes. So let's try and glue this really well. And I'm not going to paint mine just because, you know, the fact that, you know, I'm still having issues with it gluing down. Now, like I said, if you have a glue that's better than the one that I use, by all means, go ahead and use it. See, I can still see here where it's not adhered all the way down. And I would prefer that it is. Maybe I'll add some of this. Let's try this. Let's see how the beacon does. And it's probably glued well enough, but not completely. So I am going to add some beacon glue in here and hopefully get this edge to glue down. Let's see, maybe the beacon will do a better job. So we're going to glue this down. I got glue on my table. Let me take something and wipe that off really quick, because if I don't, it'll be stuck on there. Okay, so I think this is pretty good. And only for the sake of the video. Now, if you're doing this at home and this is yours, I would say just put something heavy on it or put clips on it and leave it. That way, everything's glued down really nice. Now, at this point, like I said, then you would go and you would cover all the edges. See the glue sipping out? And that's good, because then that way you know you have coverage all the way. Yeah, that glued. Actually, see, the beacon did a better job than the tacky glue. Yeah. Okay, so when you get your sides to this point, and you're going to have 2 of them, because you're going to cut 4 of them, and you're going to glue them back to back. You're going to do exactly the same thing I did 2 times. And you're going to have 2 of these. And I'm going to show you what a finished one looks like, because mine are already pre-done and they're already covered in paper. See? Here are mine. Here are the one side, and my printer doesn't print well with heavy paper, so I'm going to have to do something here, but that can easily be covered. And then here's the inside of my, I don't know if this is the inside or the outside, I haven't decided. But see how I colored in with the off-white color in between the layers, so you can't see the craft colored? That's what you want to do. And there it is, the inside, and here's the grommet side. So this is going to be the outside, because this is where the rivet is more pretty. So these are going to be the outside of my box. But you can, these are sturdy, very sturdy. Now, the next thing you need to do, and I'm going to go ahead and cut a sheet of paper just to show you the next step. So I'm going to get a piece of my paper that I'm working with. Let me see if I can find one that I really, really like. Now, the paper that I'm working with is this one by Velvet Paper Art. I think it's Velvet Vintage Paper Art, I think. Anyway, it's in the description in my previous video, the hop video. It's in the description. So you're going to get your paper and you're going to cut it the same width that you cut your, here's my trimmer again. Hopefully y'all can see the measurements. You're going to get your paper and you're going to cut it a little under, again, 4 1/4. So it's going to be 4 3/8 of an inch. Make sure your paper's straight. And you're going to need 2 pieces. There's one. And here's the other one. Again, 4 3/8, which is right under 4 1/4. Cut that lid. It's just a little slither that's left out of the whole 8 1/2 by 11 inch paper. I love this cutter, by the way. I absolutely love it. So now we're going to do the same thing that we did with the tag die. We're going to do the exact same thing, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get my paper and I'm going to put them, see the face of the paper, the pretty paper, or whatever side I'm going to use. I'm going to put them, sandwich them together, fold them over. So there's white in the back and white in the front. Now, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to stick it through the bottom of my die, and then I'm going to line it up back here to make sure that it's straight right there. And then I'm going to put a piece of washi to make sure my die doesn't move. And I'm going to jiggle you around again a little bit, guys, because I need to cut this and I want you to see what I'm doing. So here is my machine. Again, I'm going to put it, if you can see your washi tape, it's the wrong way. You got to flip it around with the blade side up. Then you're going to add your second piece, your second plate, and then you're going to run it through your machine. Hopefully I won't move y'all too much. And I put both papers together so I am able to just run it back and forth one time and hopefully not move you around too much. But because it's paper, it will cut all the way through. And I'm only going to do one, like I said, because my other ones are pre-done. So every step that I do is just going to be one. So when I remove the washi from here, I've already cut my two pieces. The one that's going to go in the front of the tag side and the back. There it is. Let me move this out of the way. And this cut all the way through. See, here's my two pieces for my tag, for my side. So here it is. So I'm going to put one in the front, right here. And disregard this on the bottom because you would probably have a full printed paper. I don't, but I'm still going to camouflage that, and that's still going to work for me. It'll be pretty, don't worry. So I'm going to go ahead and get my E6000 glue, and I'm going to, because it's especially right now it's only paper, I think this glue is fine for paper, but I think for chipboard you do need something else. And I'm going to cover it even though I didn't paint the sides, because I can go in and do it afterwards. It's not going to be a big deal. Or you can cover it up with lace, but I think I would probably cover it. Paint it, I mean. I didn't on my project, then I wish that I had, so. So I'm going to put this piece right here. Stand it up, that way I can line it up. See, I'm making sure it's lined up here. And at the bottom. And you are going to get glue on you, so make sure you have, like I said, a rag or something. That way you don't get glue all over your project. And it's good that you can put it on your table and kind of make sure your paper is straight, or your counter. And now I'm just going to burnish it to make sure that it is adhered all the way down, especially around the ring right here, because I don't want that to come up at all. And all the way down. See where the glue's seeping out, and that's actually a good thing because now you know that there's glue all the way to the edge. And I'm going to flip it around and I'm going to add some more glue on this side. And hopefully this didn't cut off. I'm going to add some more glue on this side. And we're going to glue the other side. And see, that wasn't so difficult, but I think that if I show you this way in steps, it's easier for you. Especially for those of us who need, sometimes I need a visual. I'm like everybody else. Sometimes I do need that visual. So I'm going to get my second paper. Make sure it's nice and lined up. And because I'm using the tacky glue, it does give me room to move around in case it's not right. And there we go. And I'm going to use my table as a guide to make sure it's straight on the bottom and on the sides. And then I'm going to use my bone folder to burnish it. And there it is, guys. This is one of the sides, and you would repeat this one more time. That way you end up with 2 different sides. Isn't that pretty? That is so pretty. And you could use different papers, cut 2 different pieces and put one pattern on one side and the other on the other, and then do the same on your other one. I did the same here. And when I reprint again, I'll do the same. That way they all they match. You know, as long as they match. And there it is, guys. But I'm going to show you my finished panels for the side of my ribbon box. So here are my 2 pieces for the side of my ribbon box. And then I'm going to flip them around. There's the other side. And this is what you're going to need. 2 of these made exactly constructed just like this. But of course, after you glue it down, remember to paint your edges. If you don't want that to be seen, go ahead and paint it before you put your designer paper over it. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope everyone's having a great day, and I hope that this helped you. Everyone have a great day, and God bless. Bye.